fighting for all members of our community. And during this budget process, I was in the room with Councilmember Caban when we as a body were all in the room together. And I want to tell you that she fought hard for this funding, and we got this funding. That's what we're celebrating today. And all of the activists here, so many of you here, were out there doing the hard work all through this process, contacting your local members, contacting everyone who will listen, saying our community needs this funding and we need it now more than ever. Look, we've been fighting collectively, we've been fighting so hard to beat back the vicious and cruel and inhumane attacks on the transgender community and the targeting of the transgender community. We've been fighting in legislative bodies. We've been fighting in Washington. We've been fighting in Albany. We've been fighting in legislative ways with the package of bills that we passed here to fortify trans rights. We've been fighting in the courts, challenging these illegal actions in the courts. But we could do all of that. But if we don't come through with the funding that the trans community needs to support all members of our community, then we failed. Then we failed. And we weren't going to let that happen. That's why during this budget process, we fought for unprecedented funding for the trans community to lift up all members of community. And that's why I'm so excited to be here today to celebrate it during this time where it seems that there ain't a lot to celebrate. We're here today to celebrate a big victory. I'm going to turn over to my council colleague, Caban, to introduce the speaker. But I just want to say that, you know, under this speaker, our body has been more than just a legislative body. We've been a moral compass in these dark times because of the speaker's leadership. This is unprecedented funding. It has never been seen, and it wouldn't have been possible without our speaker, who has demonstrated leadership and allyship for our community. Councilmember, come on.
I think my co-chair said what needed to be said, and I also want to welcome Councilmember Hudson, who has joined us. But listen, this work does not happen without all of us, and our speaker has been an incredible ally, and it's part of a pattern that we need to take note under this body, this majority women of color led body, that we're going to fight for everyone, for the health, the dignity, the safety of everyone. And that includes our trans community. So we were very, very lucky to have an ally and fighter in our speaker, Adrienne Adams.
Oh, what a pleasure to be here with you all today. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for being here as we celebrate. Oh, gosh, we have something to celebrate. The council's investments to empower our trans and gender expansive communities. I am New York City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams, and I still have the honor of leading our historic women majority and the most diverse council in the history of the city of New York. I would like to acknowledge my colleagues who are here today, including, of course, council members Tiffany Caban and Eric Botcher, and council member Crystal Hudson. I also see our esteemed public advocate has arrived, Jamani Williams, everyone. I also recognize all of our wonderful advocates, our friends, our family, our service providers and community organizations that are here with us today. Your incredible work every day saves lives and makes our city better. So thank you all for all that you do. Today, we are so proud to celebrate over $13 million the council secured in the FY26 budget for initiatives that support transgender and gender-expansive New Yorkers. Including $6.5 million for trans equity programs, more than doubling last year's investment. That means more services, more support, and more opportunities for these vital communities. With this investment, we are saying loud and clear, every New Yorker deserves safety, dignity, and the chance to thrive exactly as you are.
You better tell them.
We know that the safety of trans people is often at risk, particularly those who are Black and people of color, and we have a responsibility to prioritize every single New Yorker. These investments are especially critical given what is happening at the federal level, y'all. Since the start of Trump's administration, we have seen protections rapidly rolled back, rights stripped away, and a deliberate effort to attack the diversity of our communities. Here in New York City, we don't stand for that. We fight back. As these attacks continue, we are reminded that progress is never guaranteed. It must be consistently defended and advanced, never retracted. And as a city shaped and strengthened by our trans communities, we will continue to lead in the fight for their rights and for their protections. I'm so grateful to my colleagues, our advocates who stand strong, and everyone here today who champion these investments and work tirelessly to ensure that our city remains a haven for people to lead safe and authentic lives, never to hide, but be who you are. I look forward to continuing our phenomenal, amazing, prestigious relationship and partnership together in the future as we battle those that don't welcome, those who don't include, those who don't invite, but for those like those of us in New York City who will always invite, always be inclusive, and always stand up for the rights of everyone who deserves it. Thank you very much.
You're up, bro.
Listen, what? Give it up for the speaker, y'all. I want to say something. When I say, what did we get? I want you to say 13.725. What did we get?
13.725.
What did we get?
13.725.
What did we get?
13.725.
And that's what we will get, and we will get more. Because we're going to fight for more. All right? Now, I'm going to welcome our next speaker, who is a powerhouse organizer and was recently officially named as Executive Director of the New Pride Agenda. I am proud to introduce Key Williams.
When I say trans, you say joy. Trans, joy, trans, joy. When I say trans, you say joy. Trans, joy, trans, joy, trans, joy, trans, trans, joy.
Better tell them.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and get started, right? As a Black trans masculine person who has called New York home my entire life, I am proud to be here representing the New Pride Agenda, which is fighting to ensure all of New York State lives up to its values as a safe haven for so many people, including the LGBTQ New Yorkers standing with us today, those who will soon come, those who will soon arrive. As we speak, hostile states and the federal government are waging a scorched earth campaign to strip the trans community of our health care and push us to the margins of public life. But we have not sat idly by. Our city and our state has made crucial progress to establish New York as a safe haven and as a model for the rest of the nation. This is the result of the tireless advocacy from providers and advocates that are standing with us today, and the legacy of leaders who came before us, and the support of elected officials and their teams, like Speaker Adams, like my council member Tiffany Caban, like Co-Chair Botcher, the Comptroller Brand Lander, and the public advocate Jumani Williams. That is why we are so grateful to be here in New York City, the home of the modern queer and trans liberation movement, and the vanguard of change for our entire state. The state budget cycle, we secured a significant expansion of the Lorena Borjas Transgender Wellness and Equity Fund, the second state-level fund in the country dedicated to trans health and wellness. This expansion is crucial to counter federal hostility, especially now that the Supreme Court has greenlit bans that are cutting life-saving health care in half of the states in this country. But of course, we New Yorkers can't be outdone, right? We can't be outdone, right? And so the leaders here in New York City have also taken historic action to advance trans health care and wellness. And that is done through the solidarity and collaboration by working hand in hand. Community leaders, elected officials, right? We work together to secure what? $13.725 million. Right. Say that. Right. These victories as the city would not be possible without grassroots action. And we must ensure that trans individuals know their rights as patients and that city health agencies inform them of their rights, including their right to be referred to by their preferred gender identity and their names. And so, as we see and as we know, there is a whole on government assault against us from the Trump administration to the Supreme Court. Our city and our state must meet this moment. Right? We have begun to erect a fortress in New York with nation-leading investments like the one we're talking about today. But anti-trans extremists are not resting, so we cannot afford to either. And that is why the New Pride Agenda will continue to advocate for greater investment and protection for trans wellness here across the state, and because we don't believe in borders beyond across the borders of this nation. Thank you.
That's right. And I want to take a second here because I know that every single person here put their entire body and soul behind this advocacy, this work to deliver safety for themselves and our communities at large. And that didn't start with the folks here. There are plenty of folks that came before us. Yep. There will be folks that came after us. Yep. And there are folks that have been in this fight and who can't be on these steps with us. So I just want to say, when I say a name, I want you to say presente. Mm-hmm. But then after I say that first name, I want you all to name somebody who you love that can't be here with us today so that we can all acknowledge their presence. So I'm going to start with one of my mentors that I deeply, deeply miss and admire, Cecilia Gentili. Presente. And now everybody, go ahead and name that ancestor that you love and are grateful for. Go ahead.
Leilene.
Presente.
Presente.
Lorena.
Presente. All right, y'all.
Elisa.
Presente.
Sylvia.
Presente.
Karen Covergirl.
Presente.
Sasha Washington.
Presente. Presente. I love it. I love it. We are only here because of the people who came before us. But I'm also going to be calling up somebody who is very much so here, who makes her presence known, who does some incredible work throughout this city. She don't need an introduction. Kim, come on now.
The Beijing Queen. The good Dr. Beijing Queen.
When I say what trans community looks like, you gotta say, this is what community looks like. What does community look like?
This is what community looks like.
What does community look like?
This is what community looks like.
Thank you. My name is Kim Watson Benjamin. I am the LGBT and health coordinator for the New York City Public Advocate Jumani D. Williams. And I'm just here to let y'all know, as dedicate myself to the office, I just want to make sure that I present him as well as the Honorable Jumani D. Williams, the New York City Public Advocate. Y'all could give it up for him.
Peace and blessing, love and light, everybody. Yes. I heard y'all got some money.
Right.
0.75.
All right,
Correct? 725, my bad. I forgot.
The 2.5, gotta include that.
Just congratulations on that. That's awesome. And shout out to our council members and our speaker for leading here. I'm hoping that one of the lessons people see is how important local government is to protect us. Sometimes we forget. And when you have the right leaders, you don't have to push too much. You know, I always try to make sure I talk about the identities I come here with as a black man, a career man, cis, straight man, person of faith. It's always important to me because the truth of the matter is, and I try to be honest about my journey, 10 years ago, I probably would not be the author of 2 bills that I'm authoring here. And I try to be honest about that so that people who are watching understand that you have to get on a journey that includes everyone. Yes. And I'm hoping now, particularly what's happening in the White House, we all understand that all of our protections and all of our safeties are interlinked. They always have been. And we have a president who's trying to tell folks that the reason they don't have health care is because trans people have health care. And the reason you don't have health care is because people like Trump are getting rich on you being sick. And that if all of us join together, we all would have the health care that we need. It is important to move past our comfort zones, and it's important to understand that everyone has a right to love, live, and laugh like everyone else to the best of their ability, and it is our job to step in to make sure that happens. And so I don't want folks to lose their faith, lose their culture. I want people to ask questions, but make sure you ask it in love. And I just want to shout out Kim as much as I can, because I've said this before, I said it again, my instructions to Kim was to make me as uncomfortable as possible, push my comfort zone, and damn it, she's done that every single time and keeps doing it. My journey keeps growing, and I'm very happy with that because when I say God is love, I mean it, and that has to include everyone. And so I want to thank the speaker and the council as well for what we're about to do and pass a few bills that are going to make some people in New York City, at minimum, feel seen at a time when the president is trying to eradicate human beings, trying to eradicate communities, trying to pretend like communities don't exist. And the truth of the matter is, trans New Yorkers, gender expansive New Yorkers have always existed. Yes. And no matter what you do, they always will. And we have to make sure they can have the health care that's needed. They can have the protections that's needed. And all our bill does, it says the services you provide, be open about what it is. Make sure that people understand simple things like you have to be called the pronoun that you prefer and use. And let's make sure that everybody's being trained. Because I know everyone in the healthcare system wants to provide the best healthcare services possible. And you cannot do that if you don't understand the community. And so we want to make sure that we have the trainings that are needed. So I continue to go on my journey, and I thank everyone for allowing me the grace to be on it. And I thank you for allowing me to be a leader to make sure that when we say everybody, we actually mean it. Thank you so much. Peace and blessing. Love and light.
Thank you so much, Jumaane Williams. You know, everyone, I want you to know that this achievement is the result of effective coalition building, organizing efforts, community mobilization, unwavering persistence, and the strength of our collective power. It signifies more than just a budgetary triumph. It affirms that our lives, our needs, and our futures hold significant value. This victory is for Lala Zanel. This victory is for Sean Coleman. This victory is for Chanel Lopez. This victory is a tribute to the legacy of Cecilia Gentili. It is also a tribute victory for Lorena Borjas and Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson. These are champions that have tirelessly fought for our rights of trans individuals, LGBTQ plus immigrants, and sex workers. Our city council leaders have made a courageous move toward justice by providing crucial resources to our community. We remain committed to the fight until all trans and queer individuals can lead lives rooted in safety, dignity, joy, and liberation. When I say trans, you say power. Trans. Power. Trans. Power. When I say trans, you say liberation. Trans. Liberation. Trans. Liberation. Trans. Liberation. Trans. Liberation. Thank you. I want to welcome an amazing speaker who also just became the executive director of PFLAG. Let's welcome Clark Hamel. Promotions everywhere, y'all. Promotions.
Hello, friends. Thank you so much. My name is Clark Hamill. I'm the executive director of PFLAG New York City. And I'm so incredibly grateful to be a part of this historic win that will not only change, but save the lives of transgender New Yorkers. PFLAG New York City was started 53 years ago. We've been around since 1972. We have seen this city through over 50 years of joy and love, crisis and tragedy, losses and wins. Through it all, we are relentlessly hopeful. And today is one of those days that we not only get to, but we have to celebrate a massive win. The City Council's increase of the Trans Equity Initiative Fund, as well as increases in funds for LGBTQ+ at-risk youth and gender-affirming care, are measures that will undoubtedly uplift and protect some of our city's most vulnerable during a painful moment in our country's history. This additional funding will allow providers to work towards the health, safety, and happiness of our transgender siblings, a vital, vibrant, and historic community in our city. But it's more than that. We can also work towards a city where they can truly thrive. The City Council's support, compassion, and incredibly hard work is something we are all tremendously grateful for. I can't begin to express my gratitude, and I feel lucky for their allyship, their advocacy, and their strength. This would also not have been possible without the power of coalition building. Working in coalition rather than competition right now, we worked together tirelessly for months to advocate for this funding that every provider here gets a part of to do what we do best, serve our community. It only came together because of a shared vision and shared work. So thank you to City Council, thank you to leadership, thank you to the members of a coalition that are not only colleagues, but friends, siblings, and fellow members of a fiercely powerful community that I am honored and overjoyed to be a part of every day. Thank you.
Let's see if y'all remember. What did we get?
13.725.
What did we get?
13.725.
That's right, and that's millions, y'all. Millions. All right? So I'm going to welcome an amazing sister, auntie. You're in the Caribbean, we love to say a good auntie. So I'm gonna welcome an amazing sister, a good auntie, a mother, an amazing fighter who has been here fighting and is still fighting. So don't forget, y'all, she's always been fighting. I want to welcome the newly appointed Director of Policy and Advocacy at Destination Tomorrow, Tabitha Gonzalez.
Wow. Oh, wow. I'm taking this moment in just for a quick second because remember how important it is to be here. So I stand here proud on behalf of Destination Tomorrow to celebrate this victorious historical fund that we have just won. But we didn't do this alone. This victory also belongs to every trans member and every community member who lent their voice to this struggle. To every advocate who showed up again and again at City Hall demanding action. Right? to our advocates and our elected officials who not only stood with us, but listened to our communities and championed this funding. During this political moment, our trans rights and our access to housing, healthcare, and gender expression are under attack by an administration who does not see our humanity. They don't see it. But I am proud to live in this city who not only celebrates its LGBTQ plus communities and gender expansive communities, but uplifts us and provides for us and fights for us when others have turned their backs on us. New York is a great place to be, people, even during this political climate. I want to say in this moment, right, as our rights are being attacked, we are celebrating today. But our fight does not end. It is fuel for the fight ahead. And I am committed to lending my experience to empower our city government, to remain unwavering in its support for LGBTQ plus and gender expanding communities. Thank you. Now I'm going to grab some notes because I don't want to go off script. You know, I'm new in my role, so I got to hit the marks.
Oh, you've been doing this.
Thank you. So let me be clear. Though we celebrate today, as we should, it fuels our work for ahead. We will not stop fighting until every trans and queer New Yorker has access to equity, housing, healthcare with the dignity and respect that they deserve. Destination Tomorrow and our partners are committed to advancing policies and sending and securing resources that prioritize the health, safety, and the liberation of all trans and queer New Yorkers. This is more than just a budget win. This is a recognition that trans and queer lives matter.
That's right.
I'm going to repeat that. This is a recognition that trans and queer lives matter.
That's right.
And that our city must continue to invest in our survival and our joy. What this represents today is that if we organize together and we stand together, we win together. And I'm going to repeat that. When we organize together, when we stand together, we will win together. A community united will never be divided. Thank you.
I think we should chant that. The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
All right. That's right. Okay, well, I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker. And, I also want to acknowledge the presence of some incredible allies and fellow council members, Councilmember Rita Joseph, Councilmember Alexa Aviles, and I'm going to call up the former co-chair of the Queer Caucus, Councilmember Crystal Hudson.
Thank you so much. We're here, we're queer, and now it's time to cheer.
That's right.
And we're not going anywhere, clearly. But for years, LGBTQIA plus advocates, including those standing here today, have fought for greater recognition and representation in New York City's more than $116 billion budget. There are almost 1 million of us across the 5 boroughs. But the groups and advocates standing here today have been fighting for just a fraction of the funding needed to meet our basic needs year after year. And now, as the Trump administration works to erase and ignore our identities, the NYC Trans and Queer Provider Advocacy Coalition, alongside the New York City Council, have secured 13.725.
What? I'm looking at you like.
13.725. All right. Let's do it one more time. 13.725. The most ever for LGBTQIA plus New Yorkers. And this happened after thousands of emails were sent and calls were made. This work builds on what our community has done for years, because we know this isn't simply about dollars and cents. It is quite literally about life and death. As the former co-chair of the LGBTQIA plus caucus and one of the first openly gay black women elected in the New York City Council, I'm proud to have helped secure an additional $13.725 million in resources for our community. And I also want to note, as many have, and I'm sure will continue to do, that this win is also a testament to the advocacy of the late Cecilia Gentili, who pushed this council for years to ensure the majority of Trans Equity Initiative funds went to trans-led organizations and organizations that primarily serve TGNC people. Make no mistake that this investment is only the beginning. We will continue to fight alongside the advocates to ensure that the council continues to expand resources for our queer neighbors and supports the most marginalized among us. Congratulations, and thank you all very much.
The council member found some spare coins in the couch cushions and didn't tell us about it. I think that's what happened. All right, Tiffany, number one. Who we calling up next?
All right, everyone. Are y'all hot?
Yes.
What? Are y'all hot because we got 13.725? All right, so that's why we're hot. We're not hot for no other reason. We're hot because we got equity, we got coins, we got dinero, we got moolah, we got money. All right, so I'm going to welcome our next speaker, Ali Harris, the Clinical Research Manager at Callen Lord. Is Ali here? Oh, hi. We love Callen Lord, y'all.
Yes, we do.
Thank you all, everyone here today. I just want to say first and foremost, no one can say we don't have any sweat equity into this work. But either way, good afternoon, New York City. As you all know, I'm Ali Harris, and I'm proud to represent Callen Lord Community Health Center. Today is a day for both celebration and resolve. We are standing here with the largest investment. Thank you. Helping our representatives do the work. Absolutely. We are standing here with the largest investment in trans futures in the city's history, $13.725 million for healthcare, housing, social services, and dignity of trans, non-binary, and gender-diverse New Yorkers. At this time, when attacks on our community make headlines every single day, New York City answers authoritatively with direct action. When we see our neighbors struggling, we collectively agree that it is our charge to ensure that New Yorkers have equitable access to health care and social services, regardless of their ability to pay. Ability to participate in daily life, such as seeking jobs, education opportunities, and travel freely without stopping. Protections for healthcare providers administering evidence-based care to our communities. At Callen Lord, we have felt the impact of the last several months. Our therapy waitlists have exploded. Surgical referral requests have surged. Legal help calls have tripled and then some. New adolescent patients flood our clinic. Our work only grows harder as resources continue to vanish. Trans-led and trans-serving organizations quickly mobilized the New York City Trans and Queer Provider Advocacy Coalition. Many folks who are represented here today. Please give them a round of applause. Where we ensured that our city representatives fully understood the consequences of inaction. Trans New Yorkers need new, dedicated funding to survive, and we need it now. When do we need it?
Now!
When New York City said, "We're not going back," our elected officials took to City Hall and responded in solidarity. Not on our watch.
That's right.
Raquel Williams, an unstoppable force for trans liberation, reminds us all. We all have the power to protect trans people and keep us alive if we're only willing to use it. Through the power of our city budget, New York City tells the nation trans lives aren't negotiable.
That's right.
So today we thank our speaker, Adrian Adams, the LGBTQIA plus caucus and co-chairs, council members Tiffany Caban, Eric Botcher, Crystal Hudson, and every council member who fought for and stood in solidarity with trans New Yorkers. And we thank every organization here that showed up in meetings, hearings, rallies, phone banks to make this happen. New York City just sent a message to this country. If you come for our trans siblings, you will find us united, organized, funded, and relentless.
That's right.
This is what it looks like when a city plants seeds of survival, waters them with care, and grows a future where every trans New Yorker lives with dignity, health, and unshakable pride. To every other city and state, follow our lead. Yeah. Woo! Put your budgets where your values are, because in this city, our city, we're not going back. We're building a future where our trans siblings deserve, and not just for our survival, but to thrive. Yeah. Thank you for your time, everyone, and thank you for this effort, everyone who made this happen.
Who's up next? Oh, okay, that's you. Oh, all right. Look at Tiffany and Tiffany being all generous. Where? T squared. Next up, we have Ivana Vasquez from the Trans Immigrant Project at Make the Road New York.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, mi amor. I know Spanish, yes.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Ivana Vázquez y soy una mujer trans inmigrante de Perú. Y soy líder del proyecto Trans Inmigrante de Make the Road New York. Como persona trans inmigrante, sé de primera mano lo difícil que es encontrar seguridad, dignidad y los recursos que necesitamos para sobrevivir. Muchas de nosotras hemos enfrentado rechazo, falta de vivienda y barreras para acceder a la atención médica, simplemente por quiénes somos, cómo somos y de dónde vinimos. Por eso, hoy es tan importante esta inversión de 13.75 millones en el presupuesto de la ciudad de Nueva York. No solo son números en el papel, es un techo para alguien que ha estado durmiendo en la calle o una inversión en refugios culturalmente competentes para personas trans. Es atención médica afirmativa de género para nuestras juventudes y para quienes hemos estado con la incertidumbre de poder seguir accediendo a hormonas, cirugías que nos ayudan a estar más seguras en las calles. Es financiamiento de emergencia para una persona joven que huye de otro estado y pueda vivir su verdad en esperanza para nuestra comunidad. Quiero agradecer a los miembros de Consejo Municipal que priorizan las demandas presupuestarias de nuestra coalición y se aseguraron de que las organizaciones que hacemos este trabajo en el territorio, como muchas que están aquí presentes, podemos seguir sirviendo a nuestra gente. Sabemos que la lucha no ha terminado. Aún estamos presionando por 35 millones completos que nuestra coalición exigió. Pero hoy celebramos esta victoria para las personas trans, para las personas migrantes y para cada uno de nosotros que nos negamos a ser invisibles. Se ve, se siente. El pueblo está presente. Se ve, se siente. Las trans están presentes. Se ve, se siente. Las trans están presentes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mateo. I'm going to be interpreting for Ivana. Woo! My name is Ivana Vasquez. I'm a proud trans woman and a migrant from Peru. And I am a leader at the Trans Immigrant Project at Make the Road New York. Woo! Woo, woo. As a trans migrant, I know firsthand how hard it is to find safety, dignity, and resources we need to survive. Many of us have faced rejection, homelessness, and barriers to healthcare simply because of who we are and where we come from. That's why today is so important. This 13.725 million investment in New York City's budget is not just numbers on paper. It is housing for someone who has been sleeping on the streets, or to invest in shelters that are culturally competent for trans people. It is gender-affirming care for our youth and for us who have been nervous whether we'll continue to access hormones or surgeries that help us be safer in the streets. It is emergency funding for a young person running away from another state to be able to be their true selves. It is hope for our communities. I want to thank the City Council members who prioritize our coalition's budget demands and make sure that organizations doing the work on the ground, like many of us here present, can continue serving our people. We know that this fight isn't over. We're still pushing for the 35 million our coalition called for. But today we celebrate this win for trans people, for migrant people, and for everyone who refuses to be invisible. Se ve, se siente, les trans están presentes.
Se ve, se siente, el pueblo está presente.
Y'all, can I just say that this is beautiful, it is powerful, and folks are talking about historic this is. But I'm telling you that we are making history by ensuring futures. That's what this work is about. So I also, because, in our community, we like to be a little petty, right? I also want to say that in the face of all of this nastiness, in the face of a federal government and Trump that is trying to erase and divide our communities, queers in New York said, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Because we are going to show up and show out and show you that our New York City community cannot be beaten by anyone. We're going to double down. We're going to triple down. We're going to get that money. We're going to take care of our own, and we're going to take care of each other. And yes, we know no borders, so we're going to continue this work to make sure that trans folks, gender nonconforming and non-binary folks, queer folks, everybody has the resources they need so that every trans child, every queer child gets the opportunity to become a trans or a queer elder. That's what this is about, right? So next up, continuing in that fight, we have Melissa Sklars.
The legend, the legend, the legend.
Thank you, Melissa.
Well, isn't this something? Thank you, Tiffany Caban. Thank you, Speaker of the City Council, my friend Adrian Adams. Thank you, Eric and Crystal. 25 years ago, there were a handful of people on these steps of City Hall telling them why trans lives matter, who, what, where, why gay rights does not protect us and our rights. They had no idea what we were talking about. 20 years ago, there was a handful of us that went to Albany and explained to them who trans people are and why gay rights does not protect us. And it took 20 years. And now today, we are here. We are the tip of the iceberg. We are representing 1 million trans people in New York City. This is a community coming of age. No longer will trans people be on the outside looking in, be forced to yell outside these fences. They know who we are, what we need, who we want, and who is represented here. And so this for now $13.725 million does not solve our problems, but it's a step in the right direction. We now have our seat at the table, a table that we helped to build. And then going forth, we will make sure that we were here and that there are more of us. We are heard and we're seen. Donald Trump and his gold-plated fascism is not welcome in New York.
Okay,
and we know that New York, we are protected. We are out loud and proud. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you all today. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I know.
Are we almost done?
Yes, we're almost finished, y'all. I see umbrellas are out, but I'm enjoying the sun. I don't know about y'all. I'm glowing, I'm basking because I got money. I got 13.725. And let's welcome Brian from Sage. So, and Brian Ellicott. Sorry, Brian, don't let me butcher your name.
Yeah, we okay.
So Brian Cook, who is the Director of Government Relations at Sage. Welcome, Brian, y'all.
It's okay. Being married, my name's been butchered a lot recently. So my name is Brian Ellicott Cook. I use they, he pronouns, and I am the Director of Government Relations at SAGE. Now, how much money did we get? $13.75. Right. All right. We are so greatly appreciative to the City Council and to our collaborative partners across many organizations for making this critical investment a reality. We've had a lot of meetings. We've had a lot of conversations. I think it would be remiss to also thank Finance Chair Justin Brennan. Okay. Right? I'm going to say his name because it's important, and I also love him.
Okay.
But because of this funding, our Sage Trans program will be able to continue and expand and provide services and resources that support our trans and non-binary elders who are so desperately in need of services as they age. We all want to become trans elders, right? Yes. So first we have to take care of them, and then we get to go to our youth, and they get to take care of us. It's a beautiful thing. I also do want to support and say that Jamani's bills for today are important. They matter. I've been in hospitals that have not been cute, so 625 and 628 really do matter. So we're going to give a little kudos to Kim Watson. But SAGE's mission is to address the long-term issues of mostly of our community as they age. And honestly, it is a real honor to be standing on the shoulders of people like Melissa Scalares, right? So I am really excited for this 13.7.25. God, math, dyslexia.
You're fine.
Next time, can we round up to a whole number?
We'll do 14.
Just a whole numbers only next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian Ellicott Cook. See, I got that. I got it. Awesome. Thank you, Brian, for that amazing words. We love SAGE. We love the work you're doing. You know, before I bring this next speaker, I want to say that Caribbean Equality Project stands celebrating this historic step forward. We know our work is not done. All of our works here are definitely not done. Today's a moment of joy, but it's also a moment to commit to continuing the fight for sustained and expanded trans power in New York City. We must continue to support and grow organizations led by and deeply connected to transgender New Yorkers. These are the organizations who know the needs of our community best because they live them every single day. And it is time for our city's procurement processes to make sure that the funding we've won actually gets into their hands without delay. All right. I was waiting to scream that part because we know procurement, it's another topic, and that's why my ED is there, because he deals with that part. All right. So I'm going to welcome Atina Rivera, who is the Community Engagement Coordinator at NITAG. Welcome, Atina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are here celebrating a victory that belongs to our community, and one of those victories is the historic increase to the Transgender Equity Fund, now at $6.5 million. This is not just a number in a budget, it is a lifeline. It is the result of tireless organizing, advocacy, and collaboration between our coalition partners and our legislators. We fought for this because we knew what was at stake and our voices have been heard. This investment comes at a time when trans and gender expansive people are navigating a deeply hostile political climate. Across the country, our rights are being challenged, our safety is under threat, and our very existence is being politicized. But here in New York, we are showing what is possible when leaders choose courage over fear and equity over exclusion. Affirmative action is more than just a principle, it is a commitment to action. It means directing resources to those who need them most. And for our community, that often means BIPOC trans people who have to face the intersecting barriers of racism, transphobia, and economic injustice. The Trans Equity Fund is not charity, it is an investment in our resilience, our leadership, and our futures. That's right. We know the work is not not done. $13.725 million will make a difference, but it will not solve every problem. What it will do is give more people access to housing, healthcare, safety, and opportunity. It will allow grassroots organizations, the ones on the ground doing the hard work every single day, to expand our reach and save more lives. So to everyone who fought for this, the advocates, the community members, the legislators who listened to what we had to say, thank you. You have shown that change is possible when we lead with solidarity, persistence, and most importantly, our love. So let's keep going. Let's make sure this fund keeps growing. Let's make sure no TGNCNB person is left behind. And let's remind the world that we are here, we are strong, and we are not going anywhere. Together, let's continue doing the work that keeps our community thriving. Thank you so very much. Mwah.
All right. We're about to close out, but I just need to ask, are y'all WNBA watching queers?
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to acknowledge, because we have a lot of, we got the caucus in the council, but I also want to acknowledge the presence of some of our power straights in the city council. Shout out to Majority Leader Amanda Farias and Councilmember Perina Sanchez, who have been incredibly supportive allies in this fight. Thank you. And then I'm going to welcome Nadia Swanson and Galloway from the Ali Forney Center to close us out. Thank you, everyone. We will not take too much time because we're all melting. In 2023, when I founded the New York City Trans and Queer Provider Advocacy Coalition, we just brought a number of these people on these steps together to be like, hey, we got to work together. We want to know what's going on in each other's lives and stop working in silos. And what we all have done this year has exceeded any dream that I had a few years ago. So thank you all so much for your hard work. We made a historic win, and the reach that it is going to have is incomprehensible sometimes. And as all of my friends said, this is literally done because of the way we came together, the way we put things aside, the way we brought in all types of people. We sent over 20,000 emails in the last week of the budget to the city council members to be like, we need this. And all of that couldn't have been done without the daily texts and emails and insider scoop from the amazing council staff, Nomi Tinkleman and Andrew Wright from Caban and Hudson's office, who were our unbelievable champions in this work.
This is what allyship looks like. Yes.
Look, your boss is taking a picture.
And so we're starting a new tradition, and we are now creating a new award that we want to give out to the community outside of our coalition who spent so much hard work and heart to help us get our wins. And so we present the Friend of Dorothy Award to the amazing co-conspirators and friends, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you. This wouldn't have happened without you.
When I said, show me what community looks like, you said, this is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what
We're
community
just too excited.
This
is what community looks like.
Show me what equity looks like.
This is what equity looks like.
Show me what trans power looks like.
This is what trans power looks like.
Show me what equity looks like.
This is what equity looks like.